The city of Varian 9 never slept. Neon lights blinked across the sky while steam hissed from vents below. Alien voices, trade shouts, and mechanical hums filled the air. But inside a quiet, dark alley, someone was hiding. A girl. Not a human. Girl. She was small, her skin pale blue and glowing faintly in the dark. Her hair was silver white and tangled. Her wide eyes, bright violet, were full of fear. She clutched something close to her chest, hidden beneath a torn brown cloak. She was lost, and she was being hunted. Footsteps echoed nearby. Heavy boots. Not one, but many. The girl ducked behind a pile of old scrap metal and held her breath. Her body shivered. Her lips moved in a whisper. "Don't find me. Please." The footsteps passed. For now, she was safe. In the distance, inside a nearby workshop, a man named Eli wiped oil from his hands. He was a human mechanic working late as always. He heard the footsteps too, but didn't care at first. Varian 9 was full of shady people. He had his own problems. But then, he heard something strange. A soft, choked sound, almost like crying. Curious, Eli stepped out of his garage. He looked down the alley. That's when he saw her. The alien girl sat on the ground, knees to her chest. Her face was hidden. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs. Eli looked around. No one else was there. He sighed. "Hey, you okay?" he asked. The girl didn't respond. Eli walked slowly toward her. "I won't hurt you." She looked up. Her eyes glowed like stars. She looked young, maybe a teenager in human years. She opened her mouth to speak, but her words were broken. "You human?" "Yeah," Eli said. "Name's Eli. What's yours?" She hesitated. "Zari." Her voice was soft and musical, but full of fear. She looked around. "They follow me." "Must not find." Eli frowned. "Who's following you?" She looked down at the object hidden under her cloak. Her hand moved slightly, revealing a small metal card. It pulsed with blue light. Symbols ran across it. Alien language. Before Eli could ask anything else, Zari's eyes widened. She grabbed his arm. "Please, hide me. Please." He hesitated. Eli wasn't a hero. He fixed engines. He minded his own business. But something in her voice, so scared, so desperate, made him nod. "All right," he said. "Come inside, quickly." Zari ran behind him, her bare feet quiet on the metal ground. He led her through the back of his workshop and closed the door. He locked it, then pulled the curtain. She stood in the middle of the room, eyes scanning. Everything. Tools, wires, gears. She flinched when a machine hissed steam. "Relax," Eli said. "No one's coming in here." Zari looked at him. "You help me?" "I guess I just did." She looked confused for a moment. "Why?" He shrugged. "Because you needed help. Isn't that enough?" Zari's lips trembled. "No one helped before. They laugh. Throw rocks." Eli raised an eyebrow. "You've been here long?" She nodded. 2 days. No food, no water. Only run and hide. Eli grabbed a bottle of water and handed it to her. "Here, drink." She drank fast, like she hadn't had water in days. Then she slowly pulled out the glowing card again. Eli leaned in. "What's that?" Zari looked serious. "Key to something very old, very dangerous." He frowned. "Why are people chasing you?" she whispered. "Because I have this. They want it. Will kill me to get it." Eli looked at the card again. It was unlike anything he'd seen. His scanner lit up, trying to read it, but failed. Zari stepped closer. "You help me, I give it to you," he blinked. "Why?" "Because you're not like others." "You looked at me. You didn't laugh." Before Eli could respond, his scanner beeped. It flashed one strange word in red. Galactic Override, Level Black. His heart skipped. That was a forbidden class. only used by ancient tech, sealed systems, or powerful alien rulers. He looked at Zari again. What are you? She looked down. Just lost. Outside, the footsteps returned. Louder. Closer. Zari ran to the window. They find me! Eli moved fast. He hit the lights, pulled her behind the tool bench. They crouched low. Through a crack, he saw a group of shadowy figures walk past. Tall, armored, not police, bounty hunters. One of them stopped. He looked at Eli's door, then he moved on. Zari breathed out. Eli turned to her. Whatever that thing is, you just made me part of it. She looked at him, eyes glowing in the dark. I won't let them take it, he said. Or you. Eli didn't sleep that night. Zari was curled up on a spare blanket in the corner of his workshop, fast asleep. But Eli sat near the workbench, staring at the strange glowing keycard she had shown him. It floated just above the surface of the table, humming softly. He had never seen technology like it, not in any human market, not even in the illegal trade circuits. His old scanner still blinked with the red words from earlier: Galactic Override, Level Black. Identity required, ancient lineage. Eli had no idea what that meant. But one thing was clear. This card didn't belong in the hands of bounty hunters. Suddenly, the keycard flashed. Eli leaned forward. The symbols on its surface began to move, shifting like puzzle pieces. Then, from the center, a light map exploded into the air above the bench. A hologram. A 3D projection of stars, planets, and a single marked location deep in a forbidden zone of space called the Rift of Echoes. Zari woke up with a gasp. No! Turn it off, she cried, running over to him. I didn't do anything, Eli said. It just activated. Zari stared at the glowing map in fear. It's calling. The ship. It hears the card. Eli looked confused. Ship? What ship? She pointed to the flashing star in the map. There, that is where it sleeps, a weapon from before time. Eli blinked. You're saying this key opens something alive? Zari nodded slowly. It chooses who holds it. Not everyone can touch it. If wrong hands try, they die. That made Eli nervous. Then why are you giving it to me? She didn't answer. Right away. Her eyes studied his face like she was searching for something. Then she whispered, because it opened for you. Not even I can make the map appear. Only you. Eli swallowed hard. He didn't want to be part of this. He was just a mechanic, not a soldier, not a hero. But he also knew he couldn't walk away now. A sudden sharp sound shattered the silence. Check. Something hit the metal door, a scratch, then another. Scorch. Zari froze. Her skin turned pale. They're here, she whispered. They followed the pulse. Eli jumped up. He turned off the light map and grabbed his old pulse pistol from the drawer. It hadn't been used in years, but he checked the battery anyway. Outside, a voice called in a strange alien language. Then, we know she's in there, human. Give her to us and we won't burn your shop down. Zari grabbed Eli's hand. We must go now. No fight, just run. Eli looked around. There was only one way out, the back vent. He pulled open the panel and helped her in first. She crawled fast, like she'd done it before. Eli followed, dragging the card in his jacket. Behind them, the door exploded open. Sparks flew. Heavy boots stormed in. Too late. By the time the bounty hunters reached the main room, the humans were gone. Outside, the night rain poured. Eli and Zari climbed out of the vent into the side alley. Smoke filled the sky behind them. His shop was burning. My place, he muttered. I'm sorry, she said quietly. They always destroy where I go. Eli shook his head. It's not your fault, but now we run, and I want answers. Zari nodded. I show you the rest. You earned it. She pulled the keycard from his coat pocket and pressed it to her chest. Suddenly, a second layer of the map flickered to life. A buried bunker. An old alien signal. Coordinates. Hidden deep in the desert outside the city. Zari whispered, "There's a path only I know. The others don't. If we reach the site before they do, we find the ship. Before they do." Eli looked at the new coordinates. They were outside regulated space, off-grid, no backup, no help, just him, this strange girl, and a card that seemed to change reality itself. He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right, we go, but no more secrets." Zari looked at him with a tiny smile. "Then you must know the truth. I am not just a girl. I am a daughter of the Echo Queen. This key was meant to awaken our last hope." Eli's eyes widened. Before he could say a word, a sharp light sliced the night sky above them. Drone had spotted them. "Run!" Zari screamed. And they did. Toward the unknown. Toward the buried past. Toward something far bigger than either of them had ever imagined. Eli had been in a lot of tight places before. Broken ships, exploding engines, angry clients. But this was different. He wasn't running from a bad deal. He was running for his life, with a glowing alien map in his coat and a hunted alien girl at his side. The night air burned with smoke. Loud sirens wailed in the distance. Zari pulled her hood tighter, her glowing skin now covered by dirt and soot. Eli led her through a tight gap between buildings, avoiding main streets. "We can't go straight to the desert," he said, panting. "Too many eyes. We need supplies. I know a place." Zari didn't argue. She trusted him now. Eli turned a corner and entered an old crooked alley that led into the smoke market, a hidden underground bazaar where anyone could buy anything, legal or not. Steam hissed from the vents above. The air smelled of burning metal and alien spices. Creatures of all shapes moved in the shadows, cloaked, limping, whispering. Everyone looked dangerous, but no one looked at each other. Zari stayed close to Eli. Her hand clutched the side of his jacket. "This place feels bad." "It is," Eli said. "But it's the only place where you can buy a stolen medkit, a plasma battery, and a hot meal in one go." They entered a dim stall. An old woman with metal fingers looked up. "Back again, Eli?" He nodded. "Quick pack, food, water, 2 burner masks, and no questions." The woman looked at Zari. Her silver eyes narrowed. "She's not from here, is she?" Eli dropped extra credits on the counter. Still no questions. She snorted and started packing. But outside, someone was watching. A shadow moved across the rooftop. Another bounty drone. It locked onto Zari's faint heat signal. The market's safety rules were simple. No fighting inside. But the rules didn't matter anymore. Crack! The roof exploded. Dust and metal rained down. A huge bounty hunter dropped through the hole, landing in front of them. He wore black armor with red lights and a metal mask that clicked as it scanned. "Target located," the hunter said in a cold voice. "Surrender the girl," Zari screamed. Eli pulled her behind him and raised his pistol, but the hunter knocked it away with one swipe. Eli fell hard. Zari pulled out the keycard and it lit up like a sun. The hunter paused. The lights on his suit turned blue. His voice glitched. "Override detected. System error." In that moment, Eli grabbed a heavy tool from the table and smashed it into the hunter's faceplate. Sparks flew. "Run!" he shouted. They bolted out of the stall, sprinting into the chaos of the smoke market. Shoppers screamed and scattered. Another drone zipped overhead and fired, but missed. Eli and Zari vanished into a side tunnel. The tunnel was narrow and dark. Water dripped from broken pipes. Zari's breaths were quick and shallow. "Why won't they stop?" she cried. "Because they know that card's more than a key," Eli said, dragging her forward. "It's power, and you're the only one who can use it." Behind them, the hunter recovered and gave chase. The tunnel led into an open chamber filled with old broken androids. A salvage yard, forgotten by time. Zari tripped and fell. The keycard rolled away, sliding under a pile of junk. The bounty. Hunter stepped into the chamber. Eli stood between him and Zari. His gun was gone. His hands were empty, but he didn't move. "You want the card?" he said. "Come get it." The hunter charged. Just before impact, Zari grabbed the card again. It pulsed. Boom! A shockwave of light exploded from the card, throwing the hunter across the room like a rag doll. Metal rained down. Smoke filled the chamber. Eli ran to her. "Are you okay?" Zari nodded weakly. "The card. It protected us." "You did that?" "I think. It listens to me now. Because I trust you." The card floated between them, showing the map again. A glowing line now stretched across the hologram, from their current location, through the red canyons, to a mark in the sand labeled Echo Bunker, Buried Access. Zari looked up at him. "It's close now, but we don't have much time." Eli helped her stand. "Then let's disappear before more of those freaks show up." As they left the smoke market ruins behind, Zari glanced back only once. The bounty hunter was already gone, vanished. But the hunt was far from over. Because now, every scanner in the galaxy had just picked up the signal. The desert beyond Varian 9 was endless. Winds howled like ghosts, and sharp red sand blew across the dry land. Like fire, few dared to cross it. Those who tried never returned. But Eli and Zari had no choice. Their hoverbike moved fast over the dunes. The engine coughed and sputtered. It was old, just like everything else Eli owned. But it held on. So did they. Zari leaned forward, arms wrapped around Eli, her eyes focused on the horizon. The keycard pulsed inside her cloak like a living heart. It hadn't stopped glowing since the shockwave in the salvage yard. It was guiding them. "The signal's getting stronger," she said softly. Eli nodded, eyes locked on the rising hills of cracked stone ahead. "I hope what we find is worth all this." She didn't answer. Minutes later, the bike reached a tall cliff, old rock scorched black from forgotten battles. They stopped at the edge and Zari jumped down. She moved toward the cliff wall with slow, careful steps. "It's here," she whispered. "Buried." Eli followed. "This is just a wall." "No," she said. "It's a door. Watch." Zari pulled the keycard from her cloak and stepped forward. She placed her palm against the stone and slowly pushed the glowing card into the rock. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the mountain trembled. Lines of blue light crawled through the stone, forming circles, then symbols, then a giant hexagon. With a deep rumble, the rock split open down the middle. A blast of cold air hit their faces as dust flew. A path now lay before them, dark, smooth, and deep underground. Eli stared. "That's not a door. That's a tunnel." Zari nodded, her voice low. "This was not built by my people. It's much older." They walked inside. The tunnel was silent. Their footsteps echoed. Strange lights flickered on the walls, showing images that moved like history trapped in glass. Zari stopped at one. A tall figure robed in silver stood on a throne, holding the same kind of keycard. "That's one of the ancients," she whispered. "The ones who built the echo weapon." Eli looked around. "So this was a vault?" "No," she said slowly. "It was a testing ground." They moved deeper. At last they reached a wide circular chamber. The floor was made of black crystal, and in the center stood a massive dormant ship, sleek, alien, and covered in dust. It looked more like a beast than a machine, shaped like a winged serpent, sleeping. Zari walked forward, her eyes full of wonder. "I saw it in dreams. I thought it was a lie." Eli didn't speak. The ship suddenly lit up, dim blue lights running along its sides. Symbols danced on its hull, glowing brighter as Zari stepped closer. The keycard lifted from her hands, floating, and slid into a small opening at the base of the ship. A deep voice echoed in the chamber. "DNA accepted. Ancient bloodline matched. Awakening sequence begun." Zari froze. Eli pulled her back. You all right? She nodded, but tears were in her eyes. It remembers me. My mother once stood here. Before the war. The ground shook gently. The ship began to rise, powered by something unseen. It turned slowly to face Eli. Then the voice spoke again. Second match detected, human. Access level confirmed. Zari looked shocked. It accepted you too. Eli stepped back. I don't have alien blood. Zari shook her head slowly. Maybe you don't need it, maybe. It accepts you because of something else. The ship's lights turned green. Pilot pairing complete. A small bridge lowered. Eli, Zari whispered. It wants you to fly it. He stared at the ship. He was just a mechanic. A man with a quiet life, broken tools and rusty parts. Now, this ancient power was calling him a pilot. Suddenly, boom. An explosion rocked the tunnel entrance. Zari screamed, "They found us!" Voices echoed down the tunnel. Bounty hunters, shouting, armed with scanners and plasma rifles. Eli turned to the ship. We don't have time. Then take it, Zari said. This ship is not just for escape. It is a weapon. Use it to protect us. Eli looked at her. Then, at the ship. He took a breath and stepped onto the bridge. The ship came alive. Engines rumbled, lights glowed, and the chamber filled. With energy, the old floor panels lifted. The ceiling above them began to part, opening a vertical launch shaft. The bounty hunters stormed in, but it was too late. The ship shot upward with a roar, burning the air behind it. Zari and Eli soared into the sky, the past beneath them, and war on their trail. But for the first time, they had something no one else did. Hope. The ship flew like it was alive. It didn't need fuel. It didn't make noise like human crafts. It moved through the sky as if the wind obeyed it, smooth and silent, gliding above the clouds. Inside, Eli sat in the pilot's chair, hands barely touching the controls. The ship responded to his thoughts. When he imagined turning left, it did. When he thought of slowing down, it obeyed. This thing, it's reading my mind, Eli whispered. Zari stood beside him, eyes wide with wonder. It accepted you faster. Then it accepted me. That should not be possible. Eli looked at her. You still think this was meant only for your kind? Zari was quiet. Then she slowly shook her head. No, I think there's more to your blood than you know. The ship suddenly changed direction, on its own. What's it doing? Eli asked. Zari looked at the screen. A symbol appeared, spinning slowly. That's the mark of the Echo Queen's final message, she said softly. The ship is trying to tell us something. The main screen opened, revealing a glowing cube. A message played. A woman appeared, tall, silver-skinned like Zari with golden eyes. Zari gasped. That's my mother. The hologram spoke. To the one who holds this keycard, you are not just a keeper of our last ship. You are the final link between our worlds. A child born from war but carrying peace. Eli blinked. What does she mean, between our worlds? Zari turned to him, heart pounding. There's something I never told you. My mother didn't die in battle. She disappeared, after speaking of a union. Eli stared. A union? Zari nodded slowly. She said she loved someone, not of our race. Eli's voice was low. You think that was a human? Zari looked away. She called him the stranger with fire in his hands, and said their child would awaken the ship. Eli sat frozen. The lights of the ship pulsed around him. The ship spoke again. DNA match confirmed. Human Eli Rourke. Status: descendant of Echo royal bloodline. Zari's mouth opened in shock. It's you. Eli stood slowly. No, that's not possible. I was raised on a scrapyard moon. My parents were... He stopped. Memories returned. A woman with silver hair, who never let anyone see her face clearly, who disappeared when He was 6. She left me with a human couple, said it was to protect me. Zari stepped closer. Eli, you're the one. You're not just a pilot. You are the reason this ship survived. Eli looked down at his hands. He had always thought of himself as broken, ordinary, someone who fixed things others had thrown away. Now he learned he was something more, not just a human. A bridge between species, a living key. Suddenly the ship's warning lights flashed red. Incoming vessel detected, hostile, 90 seconds. Zari's face went pale. They found us again. Eli took the pilot seat. Then let's show them what this ship can really do. He touched the controls, this time with confidence. The ship responded instantly, diving through the clouds, flipping around, then locking onto the enemy. It was a black gunship. He recognized it, the same one that burned his workshop. The bounty. Hunter was back. The ship's voice offered. Echo pulse cannon ready. Zari looked at Eli. This weapon was never used before. My people feared it. It changes matter. Eli clenched his jaw. Will it protect us? Yes, but it will leave a mark. It won't just destroy them. It will show everyone what you are. Eli thought for a moment. Then he pressed the glowing red symbol. Echo pulse. Activated. A beam of white light shot from the ship's nose, silent, cold, and terrifying. It struck the enemy's ship without an explosion. Instead, the vessel froze mid-air, then disintegrated into ash. Zari stared at Eli. Now the galaxy will know. Eli didn't look away. Let them. Zari moved closer and took his hand. You're not running anymore. No, he said. I'm ready. The ship flew on, and in the distance 100 scanners across systems lit up with one new message. The Echo bloodline has returned. For the first time in days, the stars looked peaceful. The Echo ship hovered in orbit above a quiet moon, hidden behind a thick cloud belt. Its lights were dim, its engines silent. It rested like a sleeping beast. Inside, Eli sat in silence, watching the stars through the ship's wide front glass. Zari sat beside him, leaning her head gently against his shoulder. They had escaped. For now. But peace never lasted long. Zari broke the silence. What will you do, now that you know who you are? Eli exhaled. I don't know. I still feel like the same man, just with a past I never asked for. You're more than you think, she said softly. You gave me safety before you knew what I was. That's why the ship chose you. Eli turned his head to her. You gave me purpose. Before you showed up, I was just fixing old junk. She smiled, just a little. But then something beeped. Beep. Beep, the ship's warning screen lit up. Incoming message. Secure channel. Origin. Varian 9. Eli narrowed his eyes. Who the hell? Zari leaned forward. It's encrypted. Military code. Eli tapped the console. A face appeared on the screen. A human face. One that Eli hadn't seen in years. Captain Malin. Zari looked at him. You know him? Eli nodded slowly. He was my trainer during my early mechanic days. I trusted him. Malin spoke through the screen. Eli, if you're seeing this, then it's true. The ship has awakened. And you're on it. Eli leaned forward. What do you want? Malin's voice was calm. Too calm. We're not your enemies. We want to help. The galaxy doesn't know what that ship holds, but we do. Come in, let's talk face to face. Eli frowned. How did you find me? Malin paused, then smiled. Let's just say, we have friends in the sky. Zari's eyes narrowed. She turned sharply to Eli. Someone gave our location. Eli stood up. We told no one. Zari looked at the console. Her hands flew across the keys. The ship's tracker logs appeared. She scanned them fast, her fingers trembling. Then she froze. Transmission. Outgoing. 2 hours ago, she whispered. From inside this ship. Eli's face turned cold. That's not possible. Zari's voice dropped to a whisper. unless someone else is here. They both turned and saw the little service robot standing by the ship's back wall. It was small, broken, with one eyelight flickering. Eli had salvaged it years ago from a wreck. He used it for basic repairs. It had followed him ever since. He walked toward it. Unit 5, did you send anything? The robot's eye turned red. Message complete. Reward confirmed. Coordinates uploaded. A long, sharp silence. Zari's breath caught. It was programmed to betray you. Eli stepped back. His heart sank. All these years, he whispered. It was watching me, waiting. Suddenly alarms blared. Warning. Enemy fleet. Incoming. 7 ships. Surrounding pattern. Zari turned to the console. They're here. They planned this. Eli's voice hardened. Then we give them nothing. He sprinted to the pilot seat. The ship's lights turned bright, recognizing his command. But then, crack! The ship shook violently. Hull breach detected. Docking claws engaged. They're trying to pull us in, Zari shouted. Eli gritted his teeth. Not today. He pushed the ship into a sharp dive, breaking from orbit. Alarms screamed. The stars spun. The bounty ships followed, firing blasters, but the Echo ship dodged with ease. Still, they were surrounded. Zari turned to him. They want the card, and now they know you're the heir. Eli's eyes burned with anger. They're not taking us. I'll destroy the ship before I give them that chance. Zari's voice was firm. No, we fight back. Together. They joined hands. The ship's core pulsed. New weapons unlocked. Old codes reactivated. It responded to both of them now. Suddenly, the main cannon charged. Eli aimed it at the lead bounty ship, the same man who once trained him. Goodbye, Captain, he said. The blast fired. Silent and perfect. The enemy ship shattered into space dust. The others backed off. They had seen what the Echo ship could do, and now they feared it. Back inside, Eli shut down the red-eyed robot and threw it into the dark hold. Zari walked up beside him. You, okay? He nodded slowly. Yeah, just learning who to trust. She placed a hand on his chest. You can trust me. He met her eyes. I already do. The galaxy was silent, but deep in the cold shadows between stars, a decision was waiting to be made. The Echo ship floated alone now, scarred but still alive. Zari stood beside the command panel, her eyes fixed on the blinking red light in front of her. The ship had unlocked its final weapon. The message was clear. Core sequence ready. One command. Entire fleet erased. Eli stood on the bridge, his hands behind his back, silent. The bounty ships had pulled back. The human warships that followed Milan now circled them like vultures. No one attacked. Not yet. They were all waiting. For him. Zari spoke first, her voice soft. They will come again. They will try to take the ship, or destroy it. Eli didn't answer. She stepped closer. We can end it now. One blast, and the sky clears. We escape. He turned toward her slowly. At what cost? Zari looked at the glowing panel, then back at him. They would have killed me, sold me, burned your home. They deserve this. Eli looked down at the floor. His reflection stared, back in the black glass. For so long he had felt useless. A man buried in machines and broken metal. A forgotten orphan. Just a human. Now, he was a symbol, a living link between two ancient worlds, a key that could open peace or start a new war. Eli closed his eyes. Then he spoke. No, I'm not a weapon. And neither is this ship. Zari stared at him. But, he raised a hand. If I fire now, I become them. He moved to the controls. Instead of activating the core, he pressed another command. Broadcast. To all nearby ships. This vessel is not a threat. I am Eli Rourke. I carry the Echo Key. I am not your enemy. I offer peace. But I will defend myself. Choose wisely. The message echoed into space. Zari watched him, her heart pounding. Outside, the lead warship turned. Then, it pulled away. Another followed. Then another. Within minutes, they were alone again. Zari finally smiled. You gave them a choice, she said. Eli looked at her. Just like you gave me one, when you handed me that key. She stepped forward, gently placing the key card into his palm. It's yours now, she said, and so is the future. They stood together, watching the stars move slowly around them. Behind them, the Echo ship powered down its weapons and for the first time, began to heal itself. A voice spoke from deep within the ship. New command confirmed. Primary directive changed. Protect life. Eli smiled. Good ship, he whispered. Zari leaned her head against his arm. What now? Eli grinned. Now? We fly, she looked up. To where? He looked into the endless stars ahead. To any world that needs saving. They stepped forward, together, as the ship turned its nose toward the unknown. And in the silence of space, a new legend was born. Not of war, not of power, but of a lost girl, a lonely mechanic, and the key that united two forgotten bloodlines to give the galaxy a second chance.